right now, and it looks like that for the rest of the day. Although, I mean, it looks like they're going to do their best to start the first game, which is Auburn, Kentucky, in the final game of the single elimination that was supposed to be last night, but was moved to this morning. Otherwise, they would have had to play at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Which actually, you know how I have so many great ideas that suck on this show?
Of course.
I have another one, which is to turn this into a 24-hour tournament, just like Alaska does. You know, the Alaska Summer League, where they'll play the 24-hour game without ever having to turn on the lights.
Yeah.
Well, we've got lights here, and we've got nice hotels, so why not play in the before the crack of the morning and get this thing moving? Because they could have played at 3 in the morning last night. They really could have. It didn't start raining again until like 8 o'clock.
I mean, you could have, but I mean, how long have those players been up all day?
I don't care.
You're going to have your left fielder falling asleep.
I don't care, Drew, because otherwise they're just going to fall asleep at the ballpark waiting today, or falling asleep in their bed in the hotel waiting to be told when they're going to get over here. Again, I did say it was one of those outstandingly awesome ideas of mine that sucks because it doesn't have any logic attached to it.
Honestly, the logic is attached this year just because of you looking at the radar and how the weather's looking to be today. I'm not very hopeful that Arkansas even steps on the field today. I don't think they start a game today. It's even worse tomorrow. So if you are committed to keeping this format, to keeping this amount of games, and you got 3 days to do it, 24-hour clock sounds good to me.
So the idea of turning this into a single elimination tournament, I think, is viable, but you don't have to do that until Friday. Essentially, you need 3 days for an 8-team single elimination tournament. 8 goes to 4, 4 goes to 2, and you got a championship. So you don't have to make that decision until Friday, or at least you don't have to start playing those games until Friday. I would think that if you're going to change this tournament from double to single elimination, then they'd have to make that announcement, or at least make the decision before Arkansas plays against Alabama in the first round of double elimination. Here we're saying, this is what I hate about this. In the same sentence, we're saying first and double, and it just sounds so damn confusing.
That's because it is. It is confusing.
It is confusing. So
it was made to be confusing.
It would be a lot less confusing if they just turned it into single elimination, and we don't have to even throw the word double out there until somebody hits a ball to the gap and gets into second base.
Of course, an actual double when you're talking about baseball. But it's always been confusing. It never has really made that much sense to a lot of people. And I get you've got a contract with Hoover. You've said you were going to play this amount of games. But especially with the weather like it is, it's just got to be single. Or, just give Tennessee the crown and be done with it. I mean, honestly. Because honestly, we're going to –
that's what you're trying to avoid.
But if Arkansas wins today and they make it through the weekend, then we're going to get people of, you're wasting too much good pitching. You're wasting too much good pitching on the SEC championship. It doesn't matter. Why are you doing all this? Why are you trying to win it?
As long as you still get the tournament over by Sunday, then you're still okay as far as the pitching is concerned. So and the weather's fine once you get to Friday, so they're going to play the tournament. It's just getting through the double elimination part. That's why I think if they're going to be realistic about this,
and they need to be,
they do need to be. Then once the Auburn-Kentucky game is finished, just go ahead and turn this into single elimination. Otherwise, I don't see how things can work out fairly. Because let's say Arkansas and Auburn play and Alabama play, and Arkansas beats Alabama in what they still think is double elimination, but yet 24 hours later you haven't even been able to play another game because of rain, and then you make a decision and say, all right, that double elimination game you played, Alabama, no, it's single elimination, and now your season's over, so sorry about that. If it was Arkansas, they would wait for Selection Monday because they're going to make a regional. Bama's got to win this thing, and you got to be fair about this. So I would maybe they even get this game in, this Auburn-Kentucky game, which they're getting the field ready right now, and Kentucky is taking batting practice at the Cloverleaf fields. So, and every time this kind of stuff comes up, we talk about wanting to get the tournament somewhere else. There are no college or minor league baseball parks that have a roof. There are major league parks.
It's never
going to
happen.
Roofs. There are Major League parks that host conference tournaments. I think the Texas Rangers Stadium is hosting the Big 12 this year. If they're not, they have previously. And both ballparks in Texas have shown themselves to want to be a part of the college baseball atmosphere before the Major League season starts, because Arkansas has played in both Minute Maid Park and in Globe Life Park. I would love, selfishly, for this tournament to move to Arlington next year. I don't know when the contract is up, but I've heard that there are cities that are making bids right now. So if that's the case, the contract is probably up sometime soon.
But there's been cities making bids for this for the last 20 years.
Exactly. Like we've heard about this with Charlotte, with Memphis, with Atlanta, with other cities around the South that have nice baseball parks that would love to have this kind of an event. But what the SEC has right here, there's so many reasons why they want the tournament here. For one, Hoover spent millions of dollars to renovate the stadium to turn this into the SEC's ballpark. Like, nobody else plays here except for maybe like a semi-pro soccer team and Hoover High football. No one else plays baseball here. So when they convert it to baseball, this is the SEC's park. And there's a RV park that is sold out a year before the tournament even starts of baseball fans that come here to put their RVs right next to the stadium. And the other aspect, too, and this probably can't be really part of the decision-making when it comes to bids, like the SEC offices are in Birmingham. We know that. The SEC employees put on championship tournaments from soccer through baseball. Soccer's the first one, baseball's the last one. So that's from, October through May. And they travel to put all of these things on. Like, they spend the entire month of March in hotels at the men's and women's basketball tournaments for the SEC. They know what they're getting into. I'm not saying pity these people, but this is the last championship they put on, and they get to do it at home, so I can certainly see why, after all that travel, they would like to have this tournament in their backyard. And it works geographically.
It does.
It does. And, for all the reasons we can point at wanting to have the tournament somewhere else, there's probably just as many, if not more, reasons why the tournament has stayed here as long as it's been here in Hoover. I
mean, you're exactly right. And the reality of it going indoors and to a domed area like Tropicana Field, down in Tampa, or like you said, one of the two stadiums in Texas, I don't think it's that big of a realistic thing, because you don't just have to get the stadium to sign on. You have to get MLB to sign on. You have to get schedules worked out, schedules changed and everything like that.
I think the teams want this. They want the tournament there. Like, I think the Rangers are the ones that run the ballpark in Arlington, Globe Life Field, whatever they call it now. And I think they want it there. I mean, you got to justify $1 billion on building a brand new ballpark 25 years after you built another new one that was nice still when you moved out of it. So having other events like the preseason weekend tournaments. And look, I mean, you can send the Rangers on the road for 6 days, and that stadium very easily can handle the kind of crowds. And I mean, man, if you can have, I'm sure there's plenty of places to park RVs. I'm sure there is, because there's Six Flags, there's the Cowboy Stadium. It's Arlington, for crying out loud. It's the entertainment capital of Texas, like they call it.
I'm not saying there isn't enough spots, but you also got to think about the headache and all the other things that are going to go into it. I mean, you just talked about how centralized location is Hoover. We had people complaining about the SEC basketball tournament in Tampa, and it was 1 year.
Right.
And I know technically Dallas is closer to Fayetteville, so it'd be good for Arkansas. But you got to think about your conference mates. How realistic is for that Florida fan, that South Carolina fan, that Georgia fan?
Mates.
You need to.
And you're all about screw those people. They could get. Who cares about them?
It's the SEC conference, though, Phil. You got to think about everybody.
We've got to be egalitarian here.
Yes.
And yet, did you see the story from Ross Dellinger in Sports Illustrated about the two football schedule models that they're looking at? Either an 8-game schedule in which you're playing one rival every year, and then a rotating schedule of the other 7 teams every other year, or a 9-game schedule with 3 rivalries, we'll call it, or just permanent opponent, and then a rotating schedule of 6. So and apparently they're split down the middle at 8 and 8, and so
there's also this new playoff thing that's going to be discussed in Destin too, where the SEC wants to do their own playoff.
See, I mean, and everybody's going to find a way. Like every school will find a way to say, well, this doesn't quite work for me. And the baseball tournament is like probably last on the list as far as that's concerned. So go ahead and move it over to Arlington. Let's get a roof under this thing so we never have to deal with this stuff again. And oh, by the way, I figured out the reason, because I don't believe in jinxes or superstitions unless it comes to accommodations in the press box. You know what happened this year, Drew?
What's that?
They took out the ice cream sandwiches.
Gosh.
You know what else happened this
Burn
year,
Hoover
Drew?
to the ground.
Maddie? DJ Derrick is not in attendance spinning records and play. Well, he doesn't spin records anyway, but play music for all the fans, because I'm sure he was probably sick of standing up for 12 consecutive hours for 5 consecutive days. So they did away with 2 of the reasons to really enjoy yourself aside from the baseball games on the field. And those reasons, my friends, are why we are stuck in a hellish amount of rain for trying to play baseball. Get the ice cream sandwiches back in that hospitality area, and you'd see the sun pop through the clouds pretty quickly.
You reap what you sow, SEC. You try to penny pinch here at the SEC tournament, and this is what happens. It's called karma.
Feed me. 877-377-6963. Here's what we tried to plan, because we didn't think we were doing a show when we woke up this morning, but throw one together. Just like
we're professionals. We'll figure it out.
Just like cupboard mac and cheese. That's what today's show is. We're planning on Dani Wexelman joining us in about 17 minutes. She covers Major League Baseball, college baseball at ESPN, Perfect Game, MLB Network, and other outlets. And in hour number 2, we'll get back to college football with one and only Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. Otherwise, it's you and us. So be a part of it and help us throw this show together, lickety-split, on halftime. We'll be right back.
Children, we'll see what's left of me. Keep up, James Brown. It's like up the funky sound now. I say it won't be the last time you hear a scream. But then 21 verses now.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on Senior Walk, and our blood flows razorback red. For 100 years, we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Get a grand slam when you buy your next vehicle at Midland Motors. Family owned and operated, Midland Motors offers easy financing, flexible payment options, buy here, pay here, and full service repair here too. Plus a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. You can drop by Midland Motors and let Rick, Heath, or Scott Sharp show you just how easy buying your next car can be. Family owned and operated for over 30 years at 1820 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. See the guys today at Midland Motors.
We all hope that day never comes, the day you need an attorney. But when it does, call David L. Moore, Attorney at Law. David L. Moore assists his clients with criminal, personal injury, and family law cases. He's also a state-certified defense lawyer for DHS cases. Whenever you need an attorney, call David L. Moore at 479-410-9300. That's 479-410-9300. David L. Moore, Attorney at Law.
We are doing it again at Frank Rowe Furniture. Not only do we have the best seats in the house, we carry made in the USA furniture. For the entire month of May, 40% off at paying cash checker card on all furniture, bedroom, and mattresses, and 35% off our in-store no credit check financing. We also carry a full line of appliances, including the made in the USA Speed Queens. For example, conservator washers and dryers by Whirlpool, regular $649, now $499. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Live coverage of the SEC baseball tournament in Hoover, Alabama is brought to you by Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. To the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
I want to tell you about Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. If your vehicle's been damaged in recent hailstorms, we've certainly had our share of them. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair can help you out. They're right here in your community, locally owned, and a name that you can trust, correcting and fixing over 1 million customers' vehicles in their 30-plus years. That's Michael Littleton and his family here to stay at Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Stay local, stay with the best, and stay with the name you know, Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. I wish they could do something about the rain as far as the paintless dent repair, but I'm not sure that they can. So the SEC meetings next week going to be pretty interesting, not just aside from the Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban deal, but or even the scheduling that the school presidents and athletic directors and coaches will be talking about. Probably not voting on it now because
probably not.
There's something they'll be worried about in the near future. But the likelihood of the SEC talking about their own separate championship. I see the article by Pete Thamel from a couple of days ago. Didn't we even bring this up? And I think we brought it up a couple of weeks ago when we discussed the idea of scheduling pods and how you select the champion in the SEC. If you might have 4, I know they're not divisions, but it'd be like de facto divisions, and there might be the possibility of too many, just a mishmash of tiebreakers like you have in baseball. So why not the idea of a playoff in the SEC? And then,
but that was with the idea of having to play the SEC playoff and then the actual playoff.
Right. But this is something else. Really what this sounds like is more of a threat than anything else because, I mean, look at where the SEC is compared to the rest of the leagues. Maybe the Big Ten is in a different position than the Pac-12, the Big 12, and the ACC, who are all breaking in new commissioners. I know the Big Ten guy has been there for 3 or 4 years, but he's still kind of newish. But compared to the other Power 5 outside of Sankey, like he's a grizzled veteran. And then there's Greg Sankey, who is the most powerful person in college sports right now, at least on the administrative end. And he's been helping to lead the charge with the Big 12 until what happened last year, picking off Oklahoma and Texas, with trying to get this football playoff converted to 12 or 16 teams. And that doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. The commissioners and the leagues, therefore, do not trust each other. They're not going to be able to change the playoff, the national playoff anytime soon. So I can understand where the SEC is going with this. thinking, well, look, once we grow to 16, we're kind of big enough and have enough brand names to say, you know what, we can do our own thing, and it'll be a legit national title.
Would it, though? I mean, would it be legitimate? Like, that's the thing that I think that Greg Sankey or anybody that's throwing this out as a realistic possibility, I think this is more of just a threat on that the SEC is throwing out there to the other commissioners, to the other leagues, to say, look, if you don't want to play ball, we'll go play by ourselves. We don't need you. We have enough big names of college football. I mean, just look at the playoff. I mean, who's dominated the playoff? Who's dominated college football for the last 20-plus years? It's been the SEC. They have the names. They have the revenue. They have everything that you need to basically be able to bully the other leagues. So I feel like this is a scare tactic to get everybody else on board. But for people to think that this would be a legitimate national championship, at that point, we might as well just go back to letting the AP and the Writers Associations and all of them just vote, and we'll crown it before bowl games and everything like that. Like, I thought we were moving forward. We've been moving forward since you started the BCS and then the CFP. Thought we were moving forward to more of a true national champion, more of a true understanding where everybody agrees. Not only just agrees, but it's played out on the field. That is the best team in the country. And if you do this, then you might recognize it, but who else is going to? I mean, UCF recognizes their national championship. Does anybody else? No, they don't.
Well, it's like the other aspect of this conversation has been, well, what if the Power Five or just just college football, big time college football, FBS, moves away from the NCAA model and coalesces underneath the umbrella of the college football playoff. You still have to be able to get all of these disparate organizations that now don't trust each other, and the membership is switching from here to there as far as like Conference USA and Sun Belt, and Big 12 soon is growing to a completely different league. You got to get them all to agree that, sure, we're going to do it this way. We're going to separate away from the NCAA, and we're all going to do it and they are under the auspices of the college football playoff. They all agreed to it before. That's how it's run right now. This is how we choose the national champion until the contract runs out, and then you either come up with an agreement and you have a playoff, or you don't, and we're left with exactly what you're saying, Drew, like drawing up the plans for the BCS computer again, or saying, all right, voters, you take it. And that's not realistic.
No.
So they either have to come to some sort of an agreement as to what this playoff is going to look like after 2025, and that's what this is about, or the conferences are going to do it themselves.
The problem here is the lack of leadership. There's not a one voice. You said it there perfectly, that these conferences, they don't trust each other. They don't trust what Greg Sankey's saying. They don't trust what Bob Bowlesby is saying. They don't trust what the other commissioners are saying because of expansion, because of conference realignment, because you have teams that go from Conference A to Conference B. Until we can have some form of honesty, trust, between these conferences for a while, they're always going to be looking over their shoulder. So we either have to stop with realignment, stop with expansion, and, wherever you're at right now is where you're staying, and we're just going to move forward that way. That way nobody has to worry about poaching universities or anything like that. Or we need to actually have one voice in the room that matters more than everybody else. And, I think we can all agree right now that would be Greg Sankey, as the most powerful commissioner because he has the most names, the most money, the most everything. But you need somebody above him. You need you need an adult in the room, basically. You've got 5 kids in the room that all want what's best for them, what's best for their institutions, their schools. But you need someone in the room that has the power to say, this is what's best for everybody. I don't care if you're a little hurt by it. And that's how we get to the right position. But until that day comes, we're going to continue to have these conversations of, if y'all don't want to play the way I want to play, I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Yeah, and I agree with TC who texts in here. I mean, the SEC fans would look at that as a legitimate national title because anything outside the SEC doesn't matter, right? But nobody else across the country would. So, we just end up getting laughed at the way that we laugh at UCF from, a few years ago.
Nobody wants to be laughed at.
No, and I mean, that's the idea. Like, we'll joke about world champions for United States League and things like that, but you're going to be national champions, like it should be kind of a coast-to-coast thing.
Kind of need a lot of different people participating.
Yeah, not just the lower 48, but also Alaska and Hawaii, although I don't know any Division I sports out of Alaska anyway.
I don't think there are.
877-377-6963 to get on halftime. It looks like we can't get Dani Wexelman on the air because she's got some stuff she's got to do on the field for ESPN because they are getting the field ready for Auburn and Kentucky, and they're supposed to play in like an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll continue with more halftime after this quick break.
Great people, great equipment, great opportunities. That is what you get at Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, Arkansas, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, with regional OTR and local opportunities for qualified CDL drivers. Make up to $95,000 annually and be a part of a team that embraces the concept of fan. The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because all three will lie to you. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams.
95.3. Live coverage of the SEC Baseball Tournament in Hoover, Alabama is brought to you by Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
Love and happiness.
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, we can't have Dani Wexelman on from ESPN and Perfect Game and all that. That's what happens when you try to plan something shotgun. She's got stuff she's got to do over on the SEC Network, so that's got to take first and foremost. Where else can we have the SEC tournament? Where else would be a good place? It's got to be a city that's got a bit of a destination thing attached to it, I would think, right? And you got to have a ballpark. This used to be a AA ballpark. This is the ballpark where Michael Jordan played for the Birmingham Barons. And this was the AA home for the Birmingham area for 20, 25 years.
And they built another. Are they still the Birmingham Barons? Are they still?
They have resisted all of those crazy names. I mean, I told you guys the other day I went to see the Barons play the Trash Pandas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have played against the Jumbo Shrimp. The Jumbo Shrimp are AAA now.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, that's right. They used to be in this league. But I can appreciate a team that kept the moniker that they've had for over a century now. Same with the Travelers in Little Rock. They're never going to change their name. Please don't ever change the name.
Where could they play it? I mean, we threw out the Texas stadiums because if you're going to move it, you got to move it for weather. So which means you got to either move it inside or you have to move it to where it never rains. So we can move it to Arizona.
San Diego would be a fantastic place for the SEC baseball tournament, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Never rains in San Diego.
But how are you going to get people on board to go to San Diego every year? If we can't get people to go to Florida one year, how are we going to get everybody on board for doing that? So realistically, it's just Hoover's just your best bet, unfortunately. I mean, unless you move to Nashville, I mean that's a little bit more centralized location. But
so I mean, you could. There's a lot of minor league ballparks that could fit the bill that are
they don't have
the
domes.
Footprint of the SEC. Of course, I mean they don't need to have a dome. It would just be nice to have something like that. But Nashville, I mean they play the basketball tournament there all the time. Why can't and it's a beautiful AAA ballpark. Wouldn't that seem to work?
It is. Real quick, let's throw some cities out at me. I'm going to see what the forecast is right now. I know it's supposed to rain in Memphis today, so you'd be dealing with the same problems.
There's a AA park in Montgomery, in Pearl, Mississippi. I don't know if Jackson, Mississippi would be like the destination we'd all be looking for. So,
rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in Nashville.
Well, they're getting the same weather there that we're getting here.
Exactly. So, and that's the only reason to move it, right? Is due to weather. And if you're going to be constantly dealing with the exact same problems, why cause yourself the headache of moving and everything else that goes into hosting a conference tournament if you're just going to run into the same problems? Unless you can put a roof over it, there's really no need to move. And I hate Birmingham. I think Birmingham is a terrible city. There's nothing to do there. It's ultimately just a bleh of a place. And large, in my opinion, is built on Legion Field because it is a terrible stadium.
Well, I mean, that's kind of, hey, man, don't besmirch the old home of the Birmingham Bowl. I don't think they play it there anymore.
No, they play it at UAB.
UAB built their own stadium.
Don't talk down about the home of the USFL. They're still playing games at Legion Field for the USFL. So, like,
they could play in this weather. You could play football in this. Why can't we play baseball in this, huh?
Well, because
these baseball guys were tough.
You hold up metal bats.
Yeah, it's very well said.
This thing called lightning.
Well, Tennessee said they could win with wooden bats.
That they did.
Let's just turn this into a wooden bat tournament.
They didn't win with wooden bats, but they said they could because remember they lost to Tennessee Tech 3-2.
Valid point. Tropicana Field. BE says Tropicana Field. Well,
once again, we had a hard time getting people to go to Florida for basketball. Just now everybody's going to change their mind and go to Florida for baseball?
You know, it would be really
and
funny,
even further?
Though. It would be hilarious because you would get larger crowds for the SEC tournament than you do for Rays games.
Oh, you would, 100%.
That's a guarantee. What do the Rays get? I haven't looked at the attendance numbers. They're still battling in the toughest division of baseball. What do they get? 14,000 a game?
More than the A's, but that's not saying much.
You'd get. I think if the SEC tournament was played in an indoor major league ballpark, now admittedly, it's probably got to be in driving distance for a lot of folks.
And the only people who would be driving distance is Florida.
You would outdraw some major league teams. Like you would get more. Heck, I mean, you get more people. You get more people at a Missouri baseball game than you get at Oakland A's games now. You'd outdraw the Pirates. You might outdraw. You certainly would outdraw the Rays. You'd outdraw the Orioles if they're not playing the Yankees or the Red Sox.
That's true. I was about to say, don't throw my team into there, but you're right.
You know that's the truth.
But we have the best ballpark in baseball, Phil. Come on.
For a while there, you did. It's nothing like what they have here, and they try to dress up. They try to dress up this ballpark as best as they can. You know, I mean, it's got plenty of colors. You got all the team logos out there on the outfield fence, and the video board's nice and big, and the food here is okay. But it's just not a really comfortable ballpark, and it's actually a pretty unattractive piece of architecture too. Like this is the equivalent. This is the AA or college equivalent of Veterans Stadium or Three River Stadium or Riverfront or Old Bush Stadium or Shea.
So what you're telling me is they're trying to put a dress on a pig and tell me it's not a pig.
Well, I don't think they're telling you this is really a fantastic place to come do anything. It's just there are decent sight lines. The field is in good condition, and they got tons of parking all around it, and it's centrally located, and it's easy to just continue to play a tournament where you played it for 20 years in a row. There is another aspect to this, too, that someone said to me, and I don't remember who it was, but I do kind of like it. You know, when you're talking in college baseball and you say Omaha, you know exactly what it is you mean.
Yes.
You don't even have to say what the event is. Say Omaha to a college baseball fan. It's
basically to anybody. You're gonna get College World Series or Peyton Manning. It's the only two things Omaha is known for.
That's right. Or steaks. And so you say Hoover to an SEC baseball fan, and you get the same thing. It doesn't mean the same thing because this baseball tournament is like not even a tenth of a percentile of the meaning of the College World Series, but you do know. You know, when you're an SEC baseball fan, what you say Hoover, you know what it means, and it means uncomfortable bleacher seats. It means a lot of room to chase foul balls, and it means more LSU fans than anybody else. And it used to mean ice cream in the press box until this year.
But it doesn't anymore.
Damn it!
Ugh. Do I need to call Greg Sankey personally for you?
Yes.
If you want during the break, I will personally call him. And I will have an ice cream sandwich in your hand in the next 10 minutes.
You know how I am
do
with
that
ice
for
cream
you.
with ice cream in radio booths, man. That's why I was so excited to go to Texas A&M because the ballpark is named for an ice cream company.
But wasn't there a recall or something that they couldn't give it to you?
That was like 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nobody's getting sick because of Bluebell ice cream anymore, unless you eat too much of it, I guess, and it might do the same thing. So yeah, bring back the ice cream. We'll be just fine. No, I would say fine, do away with the rain, and I'll never eat ice cream again for the rest of my life. And that actually is a difficult thing for me to think about for a moment there. Will we play baseball today? They should have those odds on BUSR.com. I think that'd be something people would put money on, and the answer probably would be no. BUSR.com offers all sorts of odds on legitimate things that you can gamble on. Sports, live casino. You can play blackjack right there at BUSR.com, and it's safe, fun, and secure. And if you use BUSR.com/morningrush, then you will get a 100% deposit bonus added to your account. You put in $100, you get $100. It is as simple as that. Go to BUSR.com/morningrush in order to get that exclusive 100% bonus added to your account. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR. We got your text coming up, 877-377-6963, and wrapping up the first hour after this.
I'll be moving on, but I'll be back on Monday afternoon. You'll see another truckload's coming in for me.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Give potted plants a healthy start with Scott's Miracle Grow from Metters Lumber True Value. Right now, choose a 4-pound bag of all-purpose plant food or a 2 cubic foot bag of potting mix for just $19.99 each after a $3 instant rebate for True Value Rewards members. The plant food instantly feeds flowers, vegetables, and houseplants, while the potting mix is ideal for container or potted plants. Get these bargains of the month while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value. Certain exclusions apply. See store for details.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Hardworking simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfields by slicing a clean, close swath, up to 10 foot 4 inches wide, all while operating in confidence and comfort with a Workmaster tractor with high visibility all-weather cab. Stop by WT Equipment in Springdale today to learn about this unstoppable New Holland team.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com. Tristan, you guys just got in a couple F-150s, the best-selling truck in the industry. So people better hurry because they are flying off the lot.
Absolutely, man. We just got a handful of them in. Last Saturday, we got 2 of them in at 10 a.m. They were gone by lunchtime.
That's insane. 2 hours of turnover, man. But with everything going on with inventory right now and how valuable and how wanted these F-150s are, you better get here at Randall Ford.
Absolutely, guys. Keep on our website as well at randallford.com and always be checking in.
One of the other things, Tristan, that you guys offered is you can custom order vehicles as well that not a lot of other places can do.
Absolutely. Our order banks are open right now. So if you guys are looking to order, come on and see us.
Yeah, come by and see Tristan today. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Live coverage of the SEC baseball tournament in Hoover, Alabama is brought to you by Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. To the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, guys. Do you want the show to sound like we're at a ballpark,
right.
or no?
I mean, you are at a ballpark.
I know, but I can turn the crowd mic up here. You hear that?
I don't hear anything.
You still don't hear that?
I hear a little bit of music.
A little bit of
in the
music.
back-
I
in the
don't hear a
background.
wild roaring crowd or anything.
Well, there's certainly not a wild roaring crowd here. There's like a few. We're in front of dozens right now here at the Hoover Met. Yeah, dozens. But they're listening to "Sweet Emotion" by Aerosmith.
Well, that's a good song.
Do we get in trouble if we play that? We're not the ones playing it. Will YouTube take us off the air?
I feel like it's
faint enough
too
that
faint.
they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't pick it up.
It's too faint.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that informs me for later on because I have a feeling I know how I got to get this thing on the air for later. We got bad equipment with some of our stuff.
Uh-oh.
I was looking back at some of the games for the Rays recently,
Mhm.
talking about, could the SEC tournament outdraw a major league team? You bet your bottom dollar it could. In fact, it probably already does. Because I mean, you can get 11,000 people into the Hoover Met. I've seen it filled like that. 2017 championship game, Arkansas lost to LSU.
Mhm.
Place was completely filled, mostly with gold. There was plenty of red too. But this is like the LSU Invitational. You know, that's every time the SEC basketball tournament is in Nashville. What's it called?
The Kentucky Invitational.
It's the Kentucky Invitational. That's right. It's kind of set there because more Kentucky fans that don't get to go to games at Rupp will filter into Nashville and turn it into a crazy blue celebration. That's what the baseball tournament is for LSU fans. They turn this into their own their own tailgate party essentially. So I think you get more LSU fans than you even had total people at Tropicana Field yesterday. You got a good Rays team. I understand the ballpark sucks, and it's in a spot that's difficult to get to.
Yeah.
9,000 people, 9,700, 8,475 in a major league game for a franchise that's actually worth rooting for. That's amazing.
It's the same reason that I've never liked the idea of baseball in Florida. I don't like it in Miami. I don't like it in Tampa, St. Pete. Just because there's a large amount of people in a state doesn't mean that they are going to support or going to become fans. Because what do you have down there in Florida? It's a lot of transplants. It's a lot of people from up north who keep their teams. They stay with the Yankees. They stay with the Red Sox. They stay with the Phillies. They don't just become Rays fans. And you see terrible, terrible attendance numbers out of Tropicana Field, out of oh, goodness gracious. What's Miami's ballpark? Hard Rock is the football stadium. What's the
I don't know what it's
okay,
called.
well, whatever it is. But you see just absolutely terrible attendance in a brand new ballpark, and it's because they don't support it. There's no reason to have a product, especially a decent product like the Rays have, if nobody's going to watch. That's why I don't think baseball needs to expand. I just think it needs to move the heck out of Florida. The only thing that Florida does good for Major League Baseball is spring training.
Josefa says Arkansas playing rinky-dink teams on weekends draws more than that. And then it depends on the weather at Baum, but you certainly will announce, 11,000 for a Friday game against like Southeastern Louisiana because all the tickets are sold. Whether or not the people are actually there is another question. And most often, most of those tickets do include people that actually do show up. So, isn't it crazy to feel like a college baseball team outdraws even the lowest draw of Major League Baseball? Even Oakland, and I understand that the situation in Oakland is different just because that franchise keeps selling off all their players. And I think that's just a depressed sports city, too, because they've already seen two of their Major League teams move out. Like, I would have been sure that a Major League team would outdraw even the highest drawing college team. But then again, when you go around the SEC
look
West,
at the Reds. We've seen their attendance drop and frankly, their ownership doesn't care. They flat out told them don't come if you don't care.
Yeah, they kind of did. All right, I still have no idea whether or not we're going to have a game today. It is. You still say no?
I'm still saying no. I've looked at too many Dopplers, too many bleeps, too many bloops.
You've looked at your bleeps and bloops.
Oh, yes, I've checked the numbers. I've counted the bleeps. I've double counted the bloops, and it's just not going to happen today. It's right there in the bleeps and the bloops.
We record all of your bloops, so be careful of those bloops, right?
Of course.
But yeah, you're right though, and I don't. So it's kind of the storms are moving out for right now. I think you'll be able to play Auburn and Kentucky as long as they get it in within 3 hours. But then there's more that's supposed to start at around 4 o'clock. And then that puts Arkansas and Alabama in a position where they're probably going to be told to come here to the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
They might even have a chance to warm up and take some batting practice while the
Is there an
Auburn-Kentucky game is finished.
infield hitting area?
There's no indoor facility for hitting at all. There's a set of cloverleaf fields, maybe like 200 yards away that they take batting practice on and take their infield before games. So that's where they'll be. But they're probably going to be told to sit around and wait for a while because they don't want to get the starting pitchers hot. And Arkansas is not in a position where they can start a starting pitcher and then just take him out if he's going well.
Mm-hmm.
We've already had that discussion about starting pitching being an Achilles heel for this team right now. So if, I don't know, maybe it could be a good thing, depending on who it is you got coming out of the bullpen. But as of now, I mean, it looks like the best opportunity to play isn't until
Friday.
Well, they started the Vanderbilt-Mississippi game last night, Drew, at 11 o'clock. Like, maybe 10, maybe 11, because the chances of rain are about 60 to 90% once you get to 4 o'clock. And if the Auburn-Kentucky game begins at 12:45, like, it'd probably have to move fairly fast in order for the Razorbacks to even have a sniff of throwing first pitch at 4:15, 4:30. So, yeah, and I got a tweet here saying, I can't wait to play at 11 p.m. tonight. And what was it I was talking about 2 days ago? It was like I was thankful that we were scheduled for the morning game so that we weren't going to be the team that played at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know you don't believe in jinxes, Phil, but you jinxed them.
It's the ice cream. It's ice cream. And no DJ Derek. It's the only thing it's
got to be. The curse of DJ Derek?
Yes.
Well, I guess the SEC better learn its lesson and bring DJ Derek back next year, bring the ice cream back, and then you'll have sunny skies.
The SEC tournament means something to some of these teams this year. It does. It's like Tom Hart told us a few days ago about, and he's right, like this tournament is all about who wants to be there. And there are a lot of teams that have some wiggle room in some sort of a bubble. Like Kentucky is on the bubble to make the tournament. They need to do something here. They need to beat Auburn in order to that would help them out. Auburn is trying to make a case to be a top 8 national seed. So is Texas A&M. Arkansas is trying to make a case to host a regional. Tennessee is really the only team
that
in this entire league right now that just is smooth and clear, and all they want to do is avenge last year's championship game loss to Arkansas. So, Georgia's trying to make. Georgia lost yesterday at Alabama. They were trying to make a case to host. Everybody's got a little something to play for. Vanderbilt, I don't know if they have a chance to host. But they probably could improve their seat. They're going to be a 2 no matter what. LSU, they probably need to do something in order to lock down being a regional host. So most of the teams here, and this isn't always the case, most of the teams here that are sitting around, being told, it's all right if you don't play. No, they need to play. They probably need to play in order to boost that resume as much as the selection committee allows conference tournaments to boost their case. So that's another reason why you've got to be able to play these games and probably not even just convert it into a single elimination. But Tom had also told me, he spoke with a couple people recently, that they have to be 4 games behind before converting it to a single elimination tournament. And right now, they're 1 game behind, about to be 2 games behind, and at the end of today, might be 3 games behind. And then tomorrow looks like a total wash. So with all that logic thrown into it, I don't see how this isn't going to turn into a single elimination tournament. We're just gonna get that word probably tomorrow.
What's the possibility of? I don't know what the Barron schedule looks like this weekend, but if they're gone, what's the possibility of having a second location?
No, they're not in town. And
could you do that?
I think it's easier said than done.
Oh, it definitely is.
I think it. Now there is another field. One of those cloverleaf fields that they built here in order to keep the tournament here, also is built to perhaps host a tournament game. But then that leads to a whole other wash of logistics that doesn't work out. There are no stands over there to handle like whoever might go over and watch that game. These games have to be televised on the SEC network. It's under contract. I don't know if you can put cameras out there on that cloverleaf field. It's like a little high school field. So I don't know if that can be done.
Is the zoom on the camera good enough?
And I think it's easier said than done to just open up a AA ballpark that has nothing to do with this tournament at a moment's notice. So
I wasn't saying it's realistic. I was just saying if it could be an option.
Yeah, maybe at some point. Like, I think having 2 ball fields in the same city to have a tournament like this is a nice option. Maybe next time they'll think about that. We will think about the second hour of halftime after this.
Hell yes! Hey folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where we've just had the perfect storm. Yeah, we got hail, but just enough to create a tsunami of savings for our customers. That's right, little bitty damage and great big old savings on a great selection of Rath road-ready vehicles. But you want to hurry in for the best selection, because this inventory is turning like a tornado. If you have damage on your car, bring it in. We'll trade for it just like it is, even if it looks like a Titleist. If you're keeping your car, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC check, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade it in and say hell yes to this perfect storm of savings. Don't wait till they're all fixed. Don't wait till they're all gone. Start driving better today during the hell yes sale at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
We're doing it again at Frank Rowe Furniture. Not only do we have the best seats in the house, we carry made in the USA furniture. For the entire month of May, 40% off at paying cash checker card on all furniture, bedroom, and mattresses, and 35% off our in-store no credit check financing. We also carry a full line of appliances, including the made in the USA Speed Queens. For example, conservator washers and dryers by Whirlpool, regular $649, now $499. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers, occasional thunderstorms, and some of those storms could be strong or high, right around 75 degrees. Occasional showers, a few thunderstorms tonight. Overnight low will drop down into the mid-50s. And then Thursday, showers, a chance of storms are high on Thursday into the upper 50s north, upper 60s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks,
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Welcome into your second hour of a shotgun edition of halftime, because we did not expect to have this show until what were we talking about doing? Like, we were going to go on after the baseball game ended.
And your post game. It was we're going to go until about 1:45, 2 o'clock, I think is when we were going to start.
I pictured getting texts from you during the post-game show telling me, can you stretch this out a little bit more? You think you can
Come
keep
on,
going?
you got it.
Come on. You don't.
You can
we
make
don't
it till
need to do a
3.
show. That's right. That's exactly right. But no, so and we were going to take it up to Ruskin and Zach, and then they would take it from there, and we would worry about, and here it is. We're probably going to if we play baseball, it'll be after Ruskin and Zach are done.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they'd have a chance to talk about a baseball game, but no, not going to be the case.
Is that Blues Traveler?
Blues Traveler in the background. That's right,
Nice
Maddie.
little mood music.
I'll turn it up for you. No, this is Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Matthews Band with the Blues Traveler.
Oh, with John
harmonica,
Popper?
With John
Okay.
Popper harmonica. That's right.
Oh,
That's
what
I
would
said.
you say?
Do you want the ballpark sounds, or do you want it to sound more like a radio studio today? Because it doesn't
Dealer's
sound like a
choice.
baseball park right now.
I mean,
there's no ping of spring going on.
Maybe just a radio studio.
Okay, I'll turn this off.
I feel like what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the songs and I'm going to try to identify everything and I'm going to keep interrupting whatever you're saying. Hey, is that this? Is that? Are they playing Desiree right now?
No, I don't know. There's nobody named Desiree on the baseball field right now, Maddie. But Kentucky's in the dugout. Auburn's in the dugout.
All right.
And they're right now steamrolling the field.
We're going to make it 45 minutes of first pitch?
That's what they're telling us for this big Auburn-Kentucky game.
I'll believe it when I hear it.
Well, this actually means something to both teams. Kentucky needs to make a case to make it to the NCAA tournament. I think they're kind of on they're probably on the far bubble. They don't really have too much of a shot. They do have the series win over Tennessee. So that kind of means something. I hope it probably does in the committee's eyes.
Oh my God! Here's one for Drew. They're
I was about to
walking
say,
in
I was
Memphis.
like,
All right.
I'll do that one.
Did they know
that
that
one.
Drew's on right now?
I know that one.
Now it's singing "Walking in East West Memphis." Here it was. I thought I might get away from Memphis today. Memphis talk.
Nope.
But yeah,
Sorry.
It didn't quite work. We were talking about Memphis as the possible chance of Arkansas of the SEC tournament moving there, and now walking in East West Memphis is playing.
Hey,
So,
I didn't bring it up once.
You want to turn it?
That was
into
you
the-
two.
You want to turn it into the Arkansas-Memphis basketball talk?
I mean,
know
we
this
can because I made a lot of people upset and mad this morning on the Morning Rush.
You
and
did?
Then
You upset people?
Ty threw me under the bus on social media, too.
With what? Like even yesterday on halftime, you did admit that you would root openly for Memphis, but then again, it is your alma mater.
Well, what I said was we had gotten off topic. So Ty, of course, wanted to poke fun at me, wanted to try to get me all riled up, and he did a good job of it. It worked. And what I had said was we were talking about why this game would be good for both sides. I said it'd be good for both sides because it gives a good opponent for both teams non-conference. We talked about it so much last year. We talked about it so much this year with baseball, your net and RPI ranking, and obviously a game against Memphis is worth way more than a game against Hofstra. It's worth way more than a game against Central Arkansas State, those types of teams. And I don't know how this transition happened, but I made the statement that while Arkansas has been a great program, or it's been a good program with history, it's got a title, great loyal fan base, great atmosphere, you could write the story of college basketball without Arkansas in it. Now let me
Memphis, right?
Exactly. Now let me say something else. I also said that Arkansas would be a footnote in the story of college basketball.
I don't know.
Memphis wouldn't even be a footnote. There's nothing written about Memphis. See, that's what I'm trying to get across the broader picture. You have 10 minutes to tell somebody about college basketball. You're not spending a second of it to talk about Arkansas, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not meaning it as an insult. I'm meaning it as, while you have a good program, you don't have a great program, because I think I could throw out plenty of schools out there that, if we're talking about the long history, the story of college basketball, people would be upset that if I mentioned them in it.
Look, I understand.
Just
I understand what you're saying. Like there's programs like Duke or UCLA
Yes,
or
they write the
Kentucky
stories.
or North Carolina, but I would have I grew up as a college basketball fan watching the early 90s Razorbacks and watching that 1994 team. And the only thing that I connected to the state of Arkansas at that point was Bill Clinton and the Razorbacks. And Scotty Thurman and Corliss Williamson and Oliver Miller and all of even the players from before that, the Todd Day teams, that program in the 90s and even in the late 70s was not a footnote to those times.
But that's in two different eras of college basketball. There's two different timestamps. I'm talking about from start to finish. I'm talking about the broader picture. If you wrote a book just from 1970 to 1979, yeah, it's got to be included. You write a book from 1990 to 2000, it's got to be included. You write a book, you don't waste a chapter on 94. I'm sorry, you just don't. And let me ask you this, Phil. You talk about your association with the state of Arkansas with basketball. If you had never ended up here for the last 20 years, how realistically do you think you think about that 94 team?
That's an impossible question to answer.
I know it is, but do you think that it would be...
That's an impossible question to answer, because I can tell you that the first time I met Scotty Thurman and I did a basketball game with him, I felt starstruck. I did, because that shot is more than a footnote. And I think that 94 team is more than a footnote because you see that shot on One Shining Moment.
By footnote, I mean more of like a few sentences or a paragraph type of thing. I don't mean actually like a footnote down at the bottom, but they don't get their own chapter. I don't think anybody would realistically think that they get their own chapter.
UCLA the next year probably do. Back-to-back champions, aren't in that, wouldn't be in that conversation. I also don't see how this ended up on the conversation about about a Memphis, Arkansas series.
I don't either, because Ty was trying to get at me saying that Memphis. Oh, I remember what it was. Somebody had texted in that famous John Calipari quote that when Memphis was winning in 06, 7, and 8, that they wouldn't play. John Calipari wouldn't play Arkansas because they weren't a national program. Right. And somebody texted that in and asked me how I felt about that. And I said, well, blah, 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 blah. Arkansas, great program right now. But the long scheme of things.
But you are what you are at that moment. And at that moment, they weren't what they were in the 90s. And right now, what is Arkansas? They are most definitely a national program.
They are right now, yes.
They're one of the programs.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from that.
No, I don't think you are. I'd be a little careful about comparing how we're viewing that 94 championship, though.
Well, that's the thing. It's one championship. You talk about programs that have defined college basketball. You talk about UCLA in the 60s and 70s. You talk about North Carolina programs from 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010. Talk about Duke the same way. You talk about...
I don't think the first African-American coach to win a national title is a footnote, though, and Nolan Richardson is that.
That was John Thompson, wasn't it? In the 80s.
Yeah, John Thompson and Nolan Richardson. I just have trouble looking at that team as a footnote. And maybe
footnote is the wrong way to say.
Maybe it's because I've lived in Arkansas and it's held up as the. I mean, it's been the gold standard of any program's achievements, for the last 28 years or however long, 26 years. So I don't know. I mean, it's why it's an impossible question to answer. When you're around it as much as you are.
See, and that's the thing. I'm not trying to diss anybody here. I'm not trying to put down Arkansas as a whole. I just think people need to start thinking about this in a national stance to where, yes, it's in your book. If you were personally going to tell the story of college basketball, it would be a chapter in yours. But how many people outside of the state of Arkansas are doing that? How many people are putting that team or this program in their book? One book, but the teams that I can promise you are in that book: Kansas, Kentucky, UCLA, Duke, and North Carolina. Those are in every single book, coffee table to chapter book, every single thing. Arkansas is in the book here, but is it in Florida, New York, California, Oregon? I don't think they put it in there, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, this will be a really fun conversation again once Arkansas and Memphis do play basketball, because if you think that fans aren't going to like you then, I wonder what's happened in the last 11 minutes.
And I want people to remember what I said when I began this. Arkansas has a national title. That automatically puts you better than Memphis. Congratulations. You've gotten me to say Arkansas has a better history and a better program than my beloved alma mater. I believe that. It's 100% true. I want you to hear those words too, all right? So don't think I'm just here to put Arkansas down. I'm just here to get a more of a broad range view of, while it means something here, it doesn't mean the same thing everywhere.
All right. Point is taken.
Thank you.
877-377-6963 for anybody that wants to respond. Brought to you by WT Equipment. They are now open at their new location in Springdale. It's right off the east side of Interstate 49 between the Don Tyson and Johnson exits. WT Equipment is an authorized New Holland agriculture dealership. They serve the entire area with a large selection of new and pre-owned inventory. So when you're ready to invest in your new tractor or other ag equipment, stop by WT Equipment in Springdale and check them out, or go to WTEquip.com. More on halftime after this.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
In today's world, slow internet equals a bad day. If you're in a rural area, you've experienced this way too often. Online meetings, schoolwork, enjoying family movie night, it's downright impossible. The solution? Fast fiber internet from Wave Rural Connect. Service is available near Uniontown, Van Buren, Pecola, Cass, Ozone, Altus, and many other areas. Check to see if it's available for you at waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer. Pours like every other seltzer. But it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal. So you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Live coverage of the SEC baseball tournament in Hoover, Alabama is brought to you by Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
Sitting in the porch swing, listening to the light rain, beating on the tin roof, baby, just me and you, rocking with the rhythm of the rain. Slide on over, baby, hold me closer, moving to and fro, just swaying like a slow freight train, rocking with the rhythm of the rain.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
All right, we got a couple of callers lined up here. Let's hit with them. Tuna, Charlie. Good to hear from you, Charlie. Sorry we didn't get to you in the last segment. Drew was just explaining Arkansas basketball being a footnote in the history of college
Once
basketball.
again, footnote might be a bad word.
I think those were your words. Sure. Those were your words. So let's go to Charlie.
I said it's more than Memphis. Like, come on, guys.
I know. Charlie, what do you have? Hi, how are you?
Man, well, I actually agree with Drew. Everything he said. I know I sound a little different. I got a heavy heart today. I think you guys know why. It's been tough for me today at work. I actually didn't think the show was going to come on today because of the game. I know all the games kind of been delayed and things of that nature. It's just been tough. I don't need to say why. But I always enjoy calling into this show. You know, I don't know you got three guys personally, but it almost feels like, you know, I do in a way. And, I'm sorry. I don't mean to get emotional or anything, but Drew,
Charlie, I don't know what's going on. I mean, are you okay?
No, what happened yesterday?
Well, yes, I understand that.
Yeah, it's just it bothers me. I don't do well with that stuff like that. But anyway, Drew, I agree with you, man. Arkansas is not in the same conversation as UCLA, Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, and I'm the biggest Razorback fan there is. I mean, you guys know that. That's not just why. I mean, I don't call in here just because I'm a Razorback fan. I call in here because I enjoy talking to you three guys. So it's always fun, interesting to be a part of this show. And like I say, I don't know you guys personally, but in a way, it almost feels like family. But yeah, Drew, I 100% agree with you. Now, could they get there at some point?
Of course.
I'm hoping so. With Muss and it all depends, and Duke, did have the they're blessed to have Coach K as long as they did, and UCLA at that time, obviously, John Wooden and things of that nature. I think everything's kind of situational, and I agree with you what you said about between 06 and 08 too. At that time Arkansas wasn't very good, so why would he schedule? Why would Calipari schedule us? I mean, we just at that point weren't very good. Now, I would love to play them right now. As far as I'm going to disagree with you on something else, though. You said Arkansas is better because they got one championship. I would put Arkansas and Memphis kind of in that same category. Memphis is they had their chance there. We all know they kind of blew it in that game.
I was there. I remember.
But we don't need to go back and talk about that. But I think at the end of the day, but once you start, they're not in the same category as, but hey, I'm a Razorback fan. I love my guys. I love my Hogs. So, I'm hoping the baseball team eventually can get over the hump. Football's coming along. So anyways, guys,
Charlie,
I appreciate it.
Charlie, it's good to hear from you. And I mean, I feel I could hear in your voice there, and I didn't really even know. We didn't even think we were going to do a show today.
No, so we didn't really.
I didn't really
plan
know
on how to address it and everything like that.
It's not anything you can really plan to address. I mean, and it's heartbreaking to even think about. But obviously, it's something that we're all dealing with how we feel things are going on in society, and it's the murder of 14 children and 19 children. Sorry,
no, it's fine.
The
I
two
know.
adults is just too much to bear. And I thought about this yesterday because it was my son's 10th birthday, and he very easily could have been one of those kids. And it's just it's too much to think about. But unfortunately, we don't have a choice but to think about it.
And I don't want to slow the show down or do anything, but I do want to mention it since it was brought up. And like you said, you thought about your son. It was his birthday. Could have easily been him. Well, it could have easily been, my fiance in that situation. In the last 2 years, in the last year, I've had to come on these airways, and we've talked about shootings at schools. We talked about a shooting at a grocery store where my aunt lives 2 blocks away from. It's a store that my fiance goes to all the time. And the fact of the matter is, it drives me insane to know that any day my fiance could be taken away from me just because of these acts that we see. And it's absolutely insane that my fiance and every other teacher out there has to know active shooting drills. It's insane that my future father-in-law as ex-FBI has to teach that, has to go around the Memphis area to schools and to programs. It's insane that it's been going on so long that my fiance and her siblings have been reenactors in these staged shootings to teach people things since they were in elementary school. I mean, I'm just at a loss of words. I really wish I had time to kind of write some stuff down, because there is just a lot of stuff that you want to say and use the platform that you have, but it's just heartbreaking.
There isn't anything that we can say to really, but with this platform, other than to just share grief right now. I'm not in the mood for pointing fingers or saying this person's at fault or that person's at fault. I'm at the end of my rope of fear of mass shootings in this country, and sooner or later is going to hit home in a way that none of us are ready for. It already has with me 3 years ago with the shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue where I grew up. Anyway, we got a couple of other callers on hold here, and if you want to talk about this, we're open to it too. Otherwise, we got plenty else we can communicate about. Ron in Fort Smith, you're next on Halftime. Thanks for calling.
Hey guys, that's tough to follow. Obviously, I was fired up about the Arkansas Razorback basketball program comments that our friend from Memphis, Drew, made. But when you start looking at perspective and what happened yesterday, it's whole different ball game. But I'll try to.
I don't want to just encourage you yelling at me and telling me I'm dumb, because that's perfectly fine, Ron. And while there is so much stuff going on in the world, we also do take solace in the fact that we get to do this job as an escape, not just for ourselves, but for you. So to help everyone out there heal or possibly have a laugh, go ahead and tell me how wrong and how dumb I am. I promise it'll make everybody feel better.
You guys do give us an escape, and we're appreciative for that. But and you are wrong, just for the record. let me break it down really quickly. So if you go all the way back from, we're talking 30 plus years, 40 years now, really, the triplets, you get to Mayday, you get to Scotty and Corliss. We haven't even touched on Nolan Richardson and what he meant to basketball, what he meant to, the culture change. 40 Minutes of Hell revolutionized how basketball was played, how defense was played, how people looked at the full court press or the ability to change the game without running set plays. So I think, obviously, you walked back your comment about a footnote, so good job on that. But it's Arkansas basketball is not a blurb. Here's an analogy. You're a Memphis guy. I love Memphis barbecue. But if you're writing a history book about barbecue, you could easily get down the list Kansas City, Texas, Carolina. Memphis has to be in it, right? Memphis has to be in it.
We did that with him last week before he went to Memphis Barbecue Week.
Hey, look, if you've never had Jim Neely's Interstate Barbecue just south of Bill, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but it's not a blurb in the book of barbecue, even though it's probably third, fourth, fifth down the line. So you've got to compare them that way.
Be lucky after that comment I don't have control of hanging up, because that would have third or fourth.
He'd have hung up on you if he was hosting a show and you talked about Arkansas basketball like that too. That's
It's great. It's great barbecue. It may not be the Duke run or UCLA run, but it's still great barbecue, and that's what the Razorbacks are. They're a great basketball program. You can't write the story of NCAA basketball without them.
Hey, Ron, that's a great phone call. Well done.
Real quick, and everybody else out there, I do just want to throw out some other schools. Just shoot us on the text line. Can you write the story of college basketball without Louisville? Can you write the story of college basketball without Cincinnati?
Indiana.
And I think Indiana's in there for sure. But I think a lot of Arkansas fans view themselves and view the program as bigger and better than Louisville or Cincinnati, and they both have both have more championships than Arkansas does. It's all regionalized base, is what I'm trying to say.
But what Ron, the point Ron is making here too, and I think it's a valid point, is that the style of play did change college basketball after after 40 Minutes of Hell was first introduced. And it's like, can you write the story of college basketball without the Fab Five, and they never even won a national title? You can't tell the story of college basketball without Chris Webber's extra timeout, and that was a cultural touchstone for college basketball. I don't think it's a matter of impact too, and success. I mean,
well, here's the thing.
Success obviously is the big thing that takes you forward, but there's something about impact, and that those Michigan teams, even though they were just together for like 2-3 years, there was a huge impact culturally. And I think the point Ron is making is valid, is that 40 Minutes of Hell won a national title, but definitely had a big impact on the way the sport was played moving forward.
I get that. We got another call, and we got to get to Bill. So
let's take Colby's call, and then we'll take the break. Colby, thanks for calling. What's up?
Hey, yeah, I was, I guess my thoughts as far as it goes, I think I partially agree with the thought that you can't write the book and mention Arkansas more than a paragraph or so, unless you're writing the book as far as eras go. Because when I picture the 94 Hogs and Nolan's Hogs, 40 Minutes of Hell, that kind of changed basketball a little bit as far as college basketball goes. Like the big athletic, I picture like Larry Johnson, UNLV, and how it was kind of phased out by TV timeouts and all of those things. And I just don't think you can write it that way without Arkansas, because it did, like you said earlier, change culturally basketball, and as far as like the 90s go, if you wrote it in terms of decades, then, and like the style of play and the style of jerseys down to that, and the style that the coaches were wearing, like the sports coat and the cowboy boots. I think it was influential. I don't know that it's up there with the Blue Bloods, but that's my piece. I'll hang up and listen, I guess.
All right, Colby. Thanks for the phone call.
Thanks for the phone call.
Nice, easy demeanor, and didn't come in all angry. Nobody came in all angry. In fact, Drew, mostly people agreed with you in the idea that they're not a footnote, but they're, there's going to be, and it depends on how long the book is.
And that's what I was about to say.
Are we talking about like a really 5-inch thick coffee book, or is this just like a little pamphlet that sort of details the major things that happen in college basketball?
I mean, if you go decade by decade, then yeah, it's got to be in there. But if you go just the broad scheme of college basketball, and that's what I'm trying to say, I think when you write the story of something, you talk about like let's put this in the spect of just one documentary, a 2-hour documentary about college basketball. How many minutes of runtime is Arkansas getting? That's more of what I'm trying to explain. Sure. I'm not trying to take anything away from 94. I'm not trying to take anything away from Eddie Sutton. But, outside of the national championship, before that 94, and even realistically after what Eric Musselman has done, it's been great. But I can point to 50 other programs in college basketball that have the exact same examples that carry the exact same weight besides the national championship.
877-377-6963 if you got more thoughts on that. And we'll take a break in a moment. Brought to you by The Fence Man. Great place for fence builders or anyone with building experience to get a great job that offers fantastic pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. That's The Fence Man, the top fence building team anywhere. And you can apply in person in Fort Smith at 1213 North 32nd Street. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, next.
Racing fans, it's time for the final leg of horse racing's Triple Crown. Where are you going to bet? BUSR, of course. You name it, they've got it. Place your wager on the Belmont Stakes today and lock in fantastic odds. Besides horses, you can bet on sports and play over 300 casino games at BUSR. Sign up today and get up to $1,000 on your first deposit by going to BUSR.com/Morning Rush. That's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because all three will lie to you. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says Jesus is able.
Long as I remember, the rain been coming down, clouds of mist drip pouring, confusion on the ground. Could be through the ages, trying to find the sun. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
It's a little late getting to him, but we've got Bill King with us from Nashville Sports Radio, king of college football talk. You can hear him 6 to 9 on WNSR. Bill, it looks like Auburn and Kentucky may actually be playing any moment now, but you know what the situation is in Hoover. We are sitting around watching it rain, which you never have to worry about in football. But how you doing in Nashville?
Tell you what, guys, I'm glad this isn't softball because I would just pitch Carter Holton every game and get done with it. Just forget about the rest of the games.
Yeah, he was really good against Arkansas, Bill. I mean,
last night he was too,
and he was last night too. Yeah, I mean, little lefty that's like I know they list him at 6 foot. He ain't 6 foot, and he's throwing 96 miles an hour to spots. That's an impressive pitcher.
Correct. Yeah, he's just a freshman, and they get the Vols tonight. I don't know what Tony's thinking, whether or not it's important. They don't really need anything from this tournament, so it'll be interesting to see how they play.
I don't know if you saw the video of this. One of the whistlers, and only one of them is here. He's the guy. He's not the one with the long hair and the teeth.
He's the nice one.
He's the nice one. Somebody tracked him down yesterday, an Ole Miss fan. He put it on Twitter too, and just told him he was the worst thing on earth. And he's actually this was the guy who's actually okay. He's not Preacher. He's the other one.
Right. Yeah, I think it's the Barstool guy for Ole Miss.
That's who it is.
Who runs that.
Mincy.
And that is an epic clip that I think the whole planet has seen.
Yeah, I think they enjoyed it. So we haven't even had a chance to talk to you about the Nick Saban versus Jimbo Fisher thing. And I was in Tuscaloosa last weekend, and I've been in Birmingham since then. So I've been listening to all of the anti-Jimbo takes, which there are thousands of them here in Alabama. And it's all a matter of what perspective you come from with this, isn't it? I mean, the Alabama fans hate Jimbo, and the A&M fans are going after Saban, and we just get to sit in the middle laughing at it all.
I mean, I think there's culpability really both ways. Obviously, Nick shouldn't have called out individuals, and that's regrettable. And Jimbo shouldn't throw a temper tantrum every time somebody questions how he got the recruiting class, because Jimbo needs to understand this is legal. You ought to be bragging about it. Did you hear what Nick just said? We're the best at this, and it's legal, but he sits up there and lies and talks about how they're not buying anybody. Why would you just lie to the camera and expect everybody to believe you? So you're right. Your constituents are going to be on your side regardless, and your enemies are not, for sure.
It's because Jimbo doesn't come from professional sports. Like, no general manager ever cares about saying, yeah, they took this job because we're offering them the most money. Isn't that usually what free agency is about? And it's more an admittance of the position we're in college sports.
Yep, absolutely. That's we're not there yet. A few years down the road, as the Wild West continues, it'll probably just become okay to brag about.
It will eventually, but it's gonna take some time for not just fans, but I think coaches to really get comfortable with, okay, we can do this. Let's start advertising it. And Bill, we're a week away from the meetings in Destin. Do you think that Greg Sankey's going to try to sit with both of them, I guess, in person and have them come out and maybe do a photo op, handshaking like they're best friends? Or is this something that I think Sankey and the SEC headquarters wants to keep going to build expectation, not just for SEC Media Days, but for October 8th. Greg Sankey's Vince McMahon here. This is WWE. How's he spinning this?
Well, he's going to spin it like he's the disciplinarian. And, he sent out a memo quietly to all the other coaches, do not jump into the fray here. And you notice they didn't, because Lane Kiffin later that day was scheduled to go on the Dan Patrick show, and that got nixed, or at least he couldn't talk about it, and that's the only thing you'd want Lane to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Because he's going to be the most opinionated. But no. I mean, he's gonna try and handle it like a suit would handle it, and those guys are trained when it comes to wordsmithing on how to handle this kind of stuff, and it's really not bad publicity. It's actually good publicity. It's just kind of embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. No, it definitely is good publicity. It's getting not just us talking heads around the South talking about it, but it was on every national show Thursday, Friday, all the way through the weekend, even some earlier this week. So in that case, any publicity is good publicity. Now, the SEC could possibly get some bad publicity, though, which isn't good if they do try to explore this whole SEC-only playoff. How do you view this news that Pete Thamel and others wrote about yesterday? Is this a realistic thing, or is this Sankey bluffing and just trying to intimidate the other conferences to get on board?
The two best commissioners ever are Roy Kramer and Mike Slive. And you can't do better than that. And you got them back-to-back. Slive did the same thing when talking about it. Slive is way better than Sankey. But Slive did the same thing when it came to full cost of attendance, getting players paid just based on that by the school well before the NIL. And then also the expansion of the playoffs to 4 teams, or to transition from the BCS to the playoffs. And he made several threats in public, carefully PR'd, on purpose to say, look, we don't want to do this, but if we had to, we can go on our own. And he said that subtly a couple of times, knowing he's not going to have to do this. And that's exactly what this is. Saber rattling. You can't possibly actually think you're going to play 12 games, an SEC championship game, and then select 8 teams from your league and play it all. I mean, that's nothing but saber rattling. And when I saw that, I had to read it twice, which I never have to read something twice. Just as, are they serious here? I don't buy that. Now there is a big topic about the way they're going to handle the scheduling in the future, 8 games, 9 games, and a 1-7 format or a 3-6 format, depending on how many permanent opponents you want. And one of them is 1 and the other one is 3. That's real. And they're not going to use the bod system. Apparently that's not even on the table, but the idea that you're going to play it off in your league is preposterous. It's simply to let all the other leagues know we don't need you, which they really do. But they could play it off. It wouldn't be as interesting to me. If I had Georgia and Alabama playing for the 3rd time or something, would I rather see that or Georgia versus Ohio State or Alabama versus Clemson? I mean, I don't see it.
Well, I mean, it's a national championship. It's not a regional championship. That's the
Correct.
whole idea behind this. That's the whole thing. Otherwise, you can't use the word national, and if you do, it's totally illegitimate. And as far as the scheduling goes, like, I don't like the 1-7 formula at all, because I think there are historic rivalries. You can't please everybody with this, but like, I feel like, and I know they say 3-6 is not a pod system, but it's still a pod system. It's still with 4 different groups of teams that are playing each other 3 times.
Right.
So it's still kind of a pod system. And I guess some of it really comes down to, do you want to do 9 or do you want to do 8? And I'd rather see 9 conference games.
They don't need 9. We already know that, because they're playing 8 and they're winning national championships left and right. So they don't need it. It's considered economically even more when it comes to the money. Now, maybe not in the initial contract, but an additional game can mean more revenue. But here's the problem. Let's say you're in the last half of the SEC, and it's very important for your coach to have that additional non-conference game, which they have now 4, to get a W. So you pay a team $750 to come in, beat them, add the W to your resume. That's a problem for those guys. And I do think 3-6, probably the 3-6 format, probably will win out. But I'm the way we're hearing it, it's pretty dead even because you got the league split on how important that other game. If you're Vanderbilt, why would you want 3 and 6? That's a for sure loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it turns into a haves or have-nots, and I'd read the same stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, 8 and 8, and
correct.
They're split down the middle, and that's not usually the way the league operates.
And Oklahoma and Texas don't have a vote yet. They will in a few years, but they don't have a vote, so they would have to just walk into whatever the format.
Yeah, they'll just be sucked into the format. That's right. Bill, we'll let you go
Yep.
with that, man. Appreciate you.
Okay.
It's good talking with you.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
Bill.
guys.
And they
Appreciate
just
it.
threw first pitch, and it was almost
Hey.
fouled into the radio booth. It almost went into the booth.
Did it
How do you like
really?
that? Want to tell you about Baxter Regional Medical Center, a nonprofit health system focused on providing high-quality, compassionate care since 1963 across an 11-county service area in north central Arkansas and south central Missouri. Specialties like neurosurgery, comprehensive heart program that includes TAVR, urology, women's health, orthopedic care, pain management, and much more. There's over 250 providers, over 1,800 employees, and over 40 locations. From Harrison to Hardy and West Plains to Mountain View, Baxter Regional is there for you wherever you are. You can find more information at baxterregional.org. All right, we're going to close things up after the break, and maybe we'll figure out whether or not Arkansas will play baseball today or whether it's going to be at 3 in the morning. So stay with us.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Give potted plants a healthy start with Scott's Miracle Grow from Metters Lumber True Value. Right now, choose a 4-pound bag of all-purpose plant food or a 2 cubic foot bag of potting mix for just $19.99 each after a $3 instant rebate for True Value Rewards members. The plant food instantly feeds flowers, vegetables, and houseplants, while the potting mix is ideal for container or potted plants. Get these bargains of the month while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value. Certain exclusions apply. See store for details.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Hardworking simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfields by slicing a clean, close swath, up to 10 foot 4 inches wide, all while operating in confidence and comfort with a Workmaster tractor with high visibility all-weather cab. Stop by WT Equipment in Springdale today to learn about this unstoppable New Holland team.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com. Tristan, you guys just got in a couple F-150s, the best-selling truck in the industry. So people better hurry because they are flying off the lot.
Absolutely, man. We just got a handful of them in. Last Saturday, we got 2 of them in at 10 a.m. They were gone by lunchtime.
That's insane. 2 hours of turnover, man. But with everything going on with inventory right now and how valuable and how wanted these F-150s are, you better get here at Randall Ford.
Absolutely, guys. Keep on our website as well at randallford.com and always be checking in.
One of the other things, Tristan, that you guys offered is you can custom order vehicles as well that not a lot of other places can do.
Absolutely. Our order banks are open right now. So if you guys are looking to order, come on and see us.
Yeah, come by and see Tristan today. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Live coverage of the SEC Baseball Tournament in Hoover, Alabama is brought to you by Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
He came riding in on the sunrise on a hot West Texas day. A fancy man in a painted wagon with some fancy things to say. Looks like you folks need some water. Well, water is my game. And for the small price of $100, I bet you I can make it rain. So step back, non-believers, for the rain will never come. Someone start that fire burning, somebody beat the drum. He said, some may think I'm crazy for making all these claims, but I swear before this day is over, you folks are gonna see some rain.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Got good jobs available at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers right now. I know it's a great place to eat. I love the burgers, fries, and shakes. Great place to work as well, and they're looking for team players and good attitudes at both locations in Fayetteville and Russellville. Go to butcherboyburger.com and click on the careers link. It'll take you from there. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers also selling their seasoning and the seasoned patties in Harps. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers has them. All right, what do you want for odds now, Drew, Matty, on Arkansas baseball? What do you think?
It's not happening.
It's not happening today.
We have tentatively set an airtime for 4 o'clock.
And guess what I'm doing?
If
Nothing.
Ruskin,
I am
Ruskin
not.
and Zach are listening right now and think, oh, whoa, that means we're only going to do a 1 hour show. Nah, probably not.
Don't hold
They
your breath.
don't.
Probably not.
Yeah, but Arkansas baseball's not on every single station, so
Well, that's
they
a
still
good
have
point.
to do
That's a good point.
3 hours.
Yeah, they do a show no matter what.
Yeah.
They'll still have their normal programming. And
What's our show going to look like tomorrow, though?
Yeah,
because
your guess-
Arkansas should be the first game tomorrow. Do we?
No, it's not. They've already moved LSU.
What?
Yeah, they've already moved.
We're not playing tomorrow either.
They've moved the LSU.
But what if only one game gets moved? One game gets played. Arkansas should be next up, right?
Arkansas is supposed to play next, but we're probably what's going to happen, because there's 2 games after the Razorbacks and Alabama play.
Mm-hmm.
Those games are not being played today.
No.
So those games would go first.
Even if Arkansas doesn't play today?
Oh, man, no. If that's the case, then they do play first tomorrow.
Okay,
so
I was
right
about to
now,
say.
I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what to tell you. Like, we could very easily be playing sometime at 4 o'clock or maybe at 10 o'clock, because I think they would make us wait until 10 o'clock in order to get a game in if there's a weather window. Or we could play tomorrow at 9:30, or maybe the next time we could play is on Friday. I have no idea right now.
I don't see a weather window though, Phil. I mean, I'm looking at it. You might have some chances around 7 for an hour, but then it picks right back up about 8 o'clock. And
all I know is that I hope that they're not playing tomorrow during the softball super regional, because I would really like to watch that.
How many innings do you have to get in to get a full game?
You got to get 5 innings. The team that's leading is to at least get 5. That's trailing has to at least get 5 chances at bat.
do we go to 7-inning games? Do we go to 6-inning games?
No, they won't go to 6, but 7 innings would be a way to shorten things, obviously. But again, I don't think they're going to be in that position until Friday. But wait until Friday and watch them be in that position anyways. To change things to single elimination. So, yeah, I've just, like I said, I mean, I should have brought my toothbrush and and a pillow and a place to sleep.
You really should have.
Yeah, I mean, this booth would have served just fine because I'm going to basically spend like the next 10 hours, if not 12 hours, in this very radio booth. So, yes, it would have been a perfect place to sleep. There's just, I guess the showers are somewhere downstairs in the old locker room.
Well, I saw on Twitter you're all having tacos today.
We are?
Yes. I saw somebody put here, let me scroll back up. Somebody put on Mama's Tacos.
You mean in the press box?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So I know exactly what I'm going to do when the show is over.
Yeah, you got tacos, man.
I'm going to go over there and I'm going to complain to the person who's serving the tacos and said, "Excuse me, ma'am.
Where's my ice cream?
Where's the ice cream sandwiches that used to be here for 20 years?"
But
What
at
did
least you
think
have
were
delicious
doing?
tacos.
Yes.
Huh? And from the picture I saw, it looked pretty good.
Well, I've good. Then I've got the next 30 minutes figured out. Anything after that is anybody's guess. So I have no idea.
Well, best of luck to you, Phil. I will not be staying up in solidarity with you.
And best of
9:30 hits, I'm going to sleep.
Best of luck to us for tomorrow, based on whether or not we're doing a show, which we probably are. Isn't it nice to have no clue what's going on in your life?
It's great for scheduling guests.
Welcome to my world. That's right. Okay, so for Maddie and Drew, I'm Phil, and see what happens later on in the day. Get up, get out, and stay dry.